There's this canter stride going sideways. You feel that?
Yeah.
Okay. Big circle. Good. If you need to go down to the far end and do it towards us again, that's fine. Good job. Very good. Bend right a little. Good. Good. Circle. Good. Okay, now come down center line. You're going to do the same thing. I want you to leg heel towards E. Okay. And then you're going to change the bend and see if you can keep the stride a little bit more.
Would you like a jacket? Or would you like a, hang on. Let me video this for Kelsey and I've got things.
Yeah, good. Cantering. Now change the bend to the right. And now change the bend to the left. Hold counter cannon. You can cut that end of the ring. Okay. Cool. Yeah, he carries hip. Good. Yeah. Good. Shoulder forward right. Yeah, through that. All good. Yeah. Good. Down ahead. Good. Now half pass right. Out of the shoulder forward. Front end leads. Good. Now half pass again. Yeah, good. Right. Big circle. Push the canter forward there for a second. Better. Okay, go back to your half pass. I want you to do it as a leg yield to the right instead of a half pass. He looks to me, for me, I'd like him to stay a little bit more in canter when you half pass. Like that and I think this is where you said he'll start to jump, but not necessarily step out. Like yield towards A. Like yield towards A. Keep going towards A.
It is scary down there. Yeah. Especially with the gardener down there.
It is the theme of every day, yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, keep the energy. Can you get a change on the circle? Yeah, you're right. Good. Oh boy. Be able to just change the bend right and change the bend left. Just make them a little bit malleable that you can move them away from your left leg and you can move them away from your right leg. All by yourself. Sliding past your right side. There you go. Good. 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 There you go. Can you go shoulder for left on the circle? Good. Good. Oh, it's really hard, okay? And then set yourself up and then get into it. Time. Good. Okay, walk, do it one more time. Okay. Good. Spectacular. Good job.
They're really good, but he just is not super understanding aids.
Yeah.
Easy aids yet.
Yeah. Number one, that you don't ever get into like, oh God, I gotta change now, right? Number two, that it makes them have to jump and keep turning, right? Stay with you, not kind of like leave a little bit. And then two, that you can really do a lot of this, like move off this, like move here, that I can really set you up and then you can go, are you ready? Are you ready? Like, we're gonna change now, if that makes sense. Yeah, for him. Do it one more time.
But it is also cute.
I think to me it looks like there's just got to be what you got the other way, that one notch more of like, okay, I put you up, I put you over here, and I'm gonna change, and that there's a, I don't want to say the wrong thing, that there's a change through a release, but I don't mean a release like throw him away, but that he like jumps through and releases in his body as he changes. Not that he feels like it's got to be springy, and it's probably just struggling to get that left hind a little through. Yeah, doesn't matter. Walk one more time. All good. Can I right? Right away. Up to. So much. Good. Good. One more time. It's okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. You gotta a little bit go through this phase. Good. Canter, now. Good. Yeah. Through. Yeah. Through. Take him down through the right too there. Good. Take him down through both sides. There you go. You could get him through and then be able to let go a little bit. Good. There you go. And then if you need to bring him up for the change, you can. Good. Yeah. Okay. One more time, walk. To me, what I see is he looks like he's actually a little pushed too far through your right side when you're asking the change.
Okay.
And yeah, that's what I mean, is like he's leaned too far off of it already, like he's put a lot into it. Good. And make sure that you've got a hair of, yeah, okay. Come on. Yeah, I was gonna say a hair of do it now. Right? right in there. That he's gotta, okay, one more time, walk. For me, he's in the phase of like, you know how to do a change, right? Now you've got to a little bit learn to do a change whenever I say, and then you gotta pull it off. Got it? Oh, good. Yeah, okay,
There she
pat him
goes.
anyways. That was all right with me. Like, you gotta tell him that was really good and now give him a break. That, you know, even sometimes when they're imperfect, what I liked about that one was like, you kind of almost went to do it behind first, waited for you, and then got it really well. And it's that, at least on that one, I felt like he was really thinking about it. Does that make sense? And it's getting him to now start to focus in and take responsibility that he has to get it clean. Does that make sense? Like for me, there's a spot that where you got to cross over after the initial, like I've taught them changes where you got to be pretty handy to now you have to almost pass the baton and say, I'm going to set you up and now you got to get it done, right? Like it can't be that I have to always put you, because there's no way you can do tempies in that, right? There has to be this crossover into like only clean changes and every time, and that's your responsibility, right? And I think that's what you were saying too about like he's got to get clear on the aid, right? Like not just like, oh gee golly gosh, I did a change and it was really good, you know? And sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not. Like his changes can really be a highlight for him, but that like now you're gonna have to like go through the semi-painful phase of like, no, every time, wherever, and on the aids, and you do it clean. It's a little bit like a horse learning to like, I will give you a good ride to this jump, but you got to get up and over it by yourself. Like I can't give you like the perfect spot every time. Does that make sense?
I didn't want to call you at midnight. They said
Yeah.
it literally was midnight.
Oh, of course.
I knew you had it.
Yes. So I'll
and
show you where mine is.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
And so I have it too, and I can't still not find it. I have like ready to go,
Right.
you know, because he's not good with shots.
Oh.
So I need to give him the. So I
paste.
told Kate, and she thankfully answered. She said, "I'll leave it in front of my, my door." And I said, "Don't worry, I'll drive out." I drove out to Kate's house.
In Malibu or in Topanga?
In Thousand Oaks.
Oh, is that where she lives? Okay.
Yeah. And she left it right there.
Oh, that's nice.
At midnight, it was like we're in the
Oh.
neighborhood and there's trucks everywhere.
Oh.
I said, relax. I said she lives in a wonderful neighborhood. He gets paranoid. And then he was better a couple hours later.
Good.
I was scared. He was pretty pursuit and sweaty.
Oh.
He was not good.
Poor Vic.
Yeah, no.
But it is that weather for sure.
Yeah, he's the most regular guy in the world.
Megan, thank you. My Junior Stella, I think.
one step after you asked, right?
Yep.
That's okay. Good. Walk, pat him. Do it one more time. Huh?
He gets a little stuck this way
Yeah.
sometimes. But I think, I think that helped. Just sort of work through it, keep doing it.
Yeah, I think you keep doing it, and it's. I think you also have to think you pretty much always ask the same way. Does that make sense? And like for sure, when you're going through this phase with them, there can be oh, you're really sensitive now. I gotta ask really lightly, or like, oh, but the end goal, like for me, the end goal with them all is that like I'm not coming up to it going like, oh gosh, if I move, he's gonna change. You know, that you really get them to accept, an obvious aid, and that doesn't make them like I'm gonna change. It makes them like, I'm confident and I know what's coming next, and therefore I will change. And you've got to go through the spot where he doesn't seem overly bad about it, but where he's like, that means we're gonna do this and I'm gonna start taking over. And it's like, no, you can feel my preparation and you can be relaxed about it and not take over, but like ready relaxed, not relaxed that he then doesn't pick himself up and jump his legs through, right? Because they need to be in this stage, a little, I'll call it like fizzy. Does that make sense? Like if you don't have the right number of bubbles in there, he doesn't get his legs through either. In the canter half pass is that like he has to stay a little bit more like that. You could when you leg yield in the canter half pass in the direction like of that you're going, like in like if you're gonna half pass from F to H and instead you leg yield from F to H, that you'll feel he keeps more of a canter stride, whereas what I've seen him do before is like really bend, but like I kind of miss the canter a little, like that he a little crumples all his joints, and like he can have this gorgeous like elegant canter, or he looks a little like crabby almost, like that if I were going to be like, and now someday do the canter half pass out of the special, that you're a little like, ugh, like that's going to be hard. But I don't think it needs to be for him. You want to feel like you have something to contain as you're going sideways. And I feel like when I was watching you go sideways there, he's either sort of like busting through you in an unbalanced way, so you have to keep him that collected, or he's not going sideways off your outside leg, or both, right? Like a weird combination of both. So that's what I'm trying to get at with that.
And I absolutely know what you mean. And there are some days where I can get the one where it feels smooth,
Yeah.
and then, especially with the spooking today.
Yeah, no, that's just like a hard like spot.
It would be quite a pull.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Good. And maybe just do a few half steps and then go into trot. Like show me that a little bit. Wow, what a good boy.
Nice, huh?
Yeah. Good job. Do that one more time. Yeah. Good. Good. Very good. I would start to really use that on him because it makes him organize his legs. So turn across and do it again. And just work on being able to get into it even easier, right? Because it looks like you have to a little bit like really organize, really organize, really organize. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking at.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like, good. Now do it again, right now. Yeah, right back into it. Good job. Good. Okay, one more time. And put your leg on, step into it. Right now. Up, hind legs. Good. 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 Good job. Okay, then trot.
I stopped doing it for a bit because every time I asked for trot, I was getting half steps.
That's fair. Yeah. Good. Okay, now for me, go circle again. There's a spot here where what I saw him do with his hind leg in the piaffe, I need to have a bit the feeling he really kind of activates and like uses his butt behind the saddle up into you in a good way, right? Even though he's sitting. And then when we went to trot here, I feel like we've got neck and then he's flatter behind the saddle than he needs to be, right? So for me, that just says that you've got to really think about that it's not even just like the half steps itself, but there's also how you use your leg when you went into the half steps. So do half steps one more time. Good. Yep. And be clear about it. Good. Okay, now go trot. You can trot out of it. Good. That's it. Okay, so now go 10 meters circle. Can you, the part of his belly that you use your leg on when you do half steps, gets him a little bit more activated up behind the saddle. Does that make sense? And when you go trot, like I like where your leg hits, it sits like right in under, like by the girth, but that you need to also be able to like half halt and use your leg a little on his tummy the way you did when you half stepped and say, yeah, come on, like don't just turn into a hyena behind the saddle when we're trotting, because that's the whole like we got to develop a place where he's going to passage from, right? Use a little like 10-meter circle, shoulder in, make your lines interesting. Even if you're on a 20-meter circle, make your lines interesting. Good. Yeah, through. Yeah, through behind the saddle too. Good. Yeah. Good. 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 Yeah, changing the bend. Yeah. Good. Yep. Good. Small circle.
Megan, would you like a stud chain?
Good. And ask him to trot a tiny. Yeah, right there. He's got to work through that place. There. He's got to step through behind. Good. There you go. Good. Swing the trot ahead, not running away, but just that he learns to swing energy up into you and activate his tummy a little bit more. Yeah, circle, like right there, circle. When you feel that like a little bit like squished neck trotting away with you, not influencing behind. There you go. You got to make sure that you find a way to access in. Good, haunches in on the circle, behind the saddle a little bit more. Yeah. Good. Does that make him feel like he wants to run away? Good, and out, and now Renver's on the circle.
Ooh,
Good.
nice.
There you go. Yep, keep coming. Good, yeah. The neck's allowed to go a little down if it wants to. Good, and then out. Good. Yep, change the bend a little. Yep, working to the left there. Now soft. Good. And trot a little to it. Move forward in the trot. Lift the hair. Good. Yep. And then change directions. Good. Okay, the same on this side. Go a little hunched in. Keep trotting. There you go. Good, through, half hold soft. Good. 1, 2, 1, 2. Come a little clearer in your rhythm. 1, 2, 1, 2. Those are the places he's just really a hair creative 10-meter circle. And like he'll very, very slightly alter the rhythm, like when you go into your lateral work. And like that's the spot you have to be really picky feel wise, because he just loses a little, I don't want to call it RPMs, but like it's about the engagement he uses or he doesn't use, because he's always articulating his joints, right? Like that's his gift. Ren bears on the circle. Good. Good. Very nice. There you go. Yeah, 10-meter circle. Turn. Come on. Turn, sister. Good. There you go. Good. Good. One more 10-meter circle. Yeah, do it now. Turning. Turning. Turn. Turn. Come on. Turn. Yep. Yep. Through your right rein too. Through both sides. Good. Oh, he says, darn it. Good. 10-meter circle. One more time. That's better. Turn. Come on, turn. I want to see bend and turn on that 10-meter circle. Yeah, it's not an interpretation on 10 meters. Come. There you go. There you go. Better. Come on. Work through that place. Yes. What? Is that a little hard?
No, I said I think what you said yesterday, where I just sort of like tactfully fake it.
Yeah, you do. Like you're like,
I'm like, wait
I'm
a
not
second.
really gonna make this, but they'll be just so. It's like that's not 10 meters. Turn, like and that's the spot though. It's like when you touch that right rein and he's not turning, you have to work it, not just pull on your left rein and guard the shoulder and make it look nice, right? We're at home. I'm not judging you. I want to fix it. Good. Not just. I'm also good at doing that in the show ring if I have to, but don't do that at home. There you go. Again, you'll be really sad circa pre-St. George, and you'll be really sad at I-1, and you'll be really, really sad at I-2. Good. Good. Right? Because it only gets harder, right? Like if you allow the little things to stay hard here, like turning, does that make sense? Change directions through the circle. Then like you only have to turn more and more and more as you go up the levels, right? By the time it gets to Grand Prix, like all the little things better be really easy, because the hard things are hard enough, right? If the hard things are also still, like if you're managing that many little things, even by the time they're pre-St. George, right? And the I-1's even harder. Good. That's it. Good. Good job. Good. And it's kind of mundane, right? It doesn't make him his fanciest, but you had like right there, that spot. Deal with it. He has to turn. He has to bend. He has to let you in there, and then you got to be able to let go and sit like a princess, right? You got to not have to work super hard for that place. Yeah, because the thing is like, you know, your silly little 8-meter circles are there all the way through I-1, and like the place where you could add a little like power and flow and turn those really easily, like that 8 is worth just as much as any other 8. Does that make sense? Like an 8 on an 8-meter circle is like the same as an 8 on an extended trot, right? And a very silly place to lose any points. Or like be like, oh God, here comes the 8-meter circle. Good.
Junior.
It's like, but then I have to use my core, guys, rather than my joints. Good. Right. Yeah, right.
He switches from leaning left to leaning right
Yeah.
so fast.
Well, and it's like that's the place what I mean about him, about you have to be picky, and then the neck could go out a little. You have to be so picky about the place that this horse, good, go ahead and rise, trot, and stretch him, truly engages versus just getting it done off of talent, right? Like, and it's not like, stop the progression of where you're going to work on it. It's just be really, really cognizant of that place. Yeah. Like when you have as much power and energy as this horse I think has, like steering is of the utmost importance. Right? Like, because if you can't tell that energy and power where to go, right, then you always have to keep it a little less, right?
Yeah. Or look and pray. I've done that too.
Yeah, there's that too. I mean, like I taught a bunch of kids at the Robert Dover thing the other week.
Yeah.
And there was one girl I was so impressed with her. I mean, her lack of control of her horse was amazing. And yet, like, because he was like, powerful and could like auction trot for a 12. And she had absolutely mastered the skill set of like staying just enough at the reins, locking in just the right way, and being able to just like motor this thing around the test with like not actual real control, but like damn make it look good. And I was like, holy crap, like you should like just go ride young stallions in auctions, because she had that like, I'm keeping up with you, I'm just enough in control, and yet like I'm thinking if I sat on this thing I would be like, I got nothing. Right? Like, but like, it's